Okay, now, again, as I've said, electrostatics, so it's about, statics lang gyapon, it's about forces. Okay, just like statics sa katong civil nga subject, but it's related to electricity. Okay, now the first under electrostatics called Coulombs law. Okay, Coulombs law for this one. Okay, wait sa deha, kadali na. Dali lang ha. Okay, so balik ta, no? Again, electrostatics. So, first topic for under electrostatics would be Coulombs law. Okay, now Coulombs law, the force between 2-point charges with the distance between them of not less than their own diameter is directly proportional to the product of their charges and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Sir, okay, a shortcut na to in terms of formula. The force kuno between two charges is directly proportional to the product of both charges, okay, and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. Okay, now, sa man ang charge, sir. Okay, I have already discussed this to you before. Charge, recall, a body is said to be positively charged if it releases electrons, and a body is said to be a body is said to be positively charged if it releases electrons, and a body is said to be negatively charged if it gains electrons. So that is charge. Okay? Now for this one, if you have kuno 2-point charges, so anong gitawag mo siya point charge? Because you can say it's small or siya lang usa. Okay? So siya lang usa, so it can be called a point charge. Now, make sure that the distance between these two charges is not less than their own diameter. So the distance should be bigger than their own diameter. Then in that way, there will be a force developed between them. So of course, unsa man ang force? So recall, let's say for example, if I have here a positive charge, okay, and then I have here another negative charge. So if this is a positive charge and negative charge, of course, they are opposing charges, then recall, you can create a, okay, they can create a, sige, tawag ni, nalimot na lang ko. You can create a attractive force. So ang force niya will be attracting one another. And also, if you have two opposing forces, for example, puro positive, then you will have repulsive forces. Okay? So muna yung force, no? Or let's say negative puros. Okay? Of course, repulsive lang gihapon. Okay? So that is Coulombs law. Muna pasabot, muna point out ni Coulombs law nga force. Okay? It's either the attractive force or the repulsive force. Okay? Now, to solve for this force, this will be the formula. Now, of course, since it is called force, the unit will be in Newton. And K here is called the proportionality constant. So, K is equal to 1 over 4 pi E sub O d squared, while E sub O is equal to 10 to the negative 9 over 36 pi. So, K again is constant. So, everything here, kanang 4 pi, E O nga 10 to the negative 9 over 36 pi, these are all constant. Okay? By the way, wala nilabot ang d squared, ha? Kay constant man ang K. Darara man ang D squared. My goodness. Ito ning tanggalon. Wait. Let's edit this one. Saan may pag-edit, ha? Don't know how to edit lagi sa MS Teams. Sige, yan na lang, no? So, again, ha, wala ni siya dapat kani. Wala ni siyang D squared diha. Kay, kanang D squared mo naman eh. So, ang K lang is kaning 4 pi EO lang. Muna na ang K. Constant man siya niya. Kanang distance, dili mo na siya constant. It's dependent man on the given distance between the two charges. So, that is not constant. Excuse me. So, ang constant should be 1 over 4 pi EO now. And then the distance between the charge, D is the distance between the charge and the point, and Q is the point charge. Okay. Now, the charge has a unit of Coulomb. Okay. So, charge is a unit of Coulomb. Now, sir, kain man eh. Electric field intensity man eh. Read ay, no? Coulombs law. Hindi ko na to. Okay? So, this is Coulombs law. No, sir, murag wala gid may kasabot, sir. Okay? Na, again, kung mas dali masabtan kung na example, no? So, don't worry, maghatag example. But, before ko maghatag example sa Coulombs law, ari sa ta sa electric field intensity. Okay? Because this next topic is just directly related lang sa Coulombs law. Why? Okay? Now you will understand. The electric field intensity, if a test charge called the stationary charge is put in place and another charge called the test charge is made to revolve around the stationary charge, then a force field is created. That force field is called the electric field intensity. Okay? So, solving for the today mahitabo ang electric field intensity. Basically, it's just the same as Coulomb's law because you also have two charges. Pero nakalahi lang ni electric field intensity. If you have one charge that is being put in stationary at the center, then the other charge is being made to revolve around the first charge. Okay? Then, maka-form ka og electric field or commonly known as force field. Force field, sir. So, kanang sa mga movies, sir, nga force field. Yes, kana. So, tinuod na siya ang force field. Okay? You just have to do is rotate one charge over the other charge. Problema lang is, this one is very easy to make under controlled environments. So, meaning, sa laboratory, dali ra kay paghimog force field. Okay? Under controlled environments. Mo na reason nga, lisod buhaton in actual environment. Okay? Muna sad nga antod karon wa gyapon tay makita nga force field kay we cannot do this man in an actual environment where the environment is not controlled. Okay? So in aning mahitabo sa electric field intensity. So technically pare-pareha sa Coulomb's law, you have two charges. Pero nakalahi lang sa Coulomb's law as electric field intensity ang usa stationary, ang usa revolving around. Okay? So solving for the electric field intensity being generated by this by the charge being rotated around the stationary charge, you can see here the formula, the constant times the charge or the test charge divided by the distance between squared. As you can see here, pare-parehas raman ni sa formula sa kuan lagi, sir. Pare-parehas sa formula sa Coulomb's law. Okay? As you can see here, pare-parehas raba, nakalahi lang is ang Coulomb's law, duha ka charges. Okay? Ang electric field intensity, isa na lang. Ang yarang i-consider is ang charge at the center. Ang katong stationary nga charge na lang may yang i-consider. As you can see here, muna kong giingon nga directly related ra si Coulomb's law og si electric field intensity. Okay? So kung kahibaw ka sa Coulomb's law, no doubt, makaibaw jud ka sa electric field intensity kay pare-parehas naman na sila. Okay? There's no need to worry about kung sa ganito yung formula sa electric field intensity. Kung kaibaw lang ka sa Coulombs law, you will know electric field intensity. Or otherwise, or vice versa, if you know electric field intensity, you will know also Coulombs law. Okay? So, mo na nga ako isang gidungan o discuss ni silang duha. Again, don't worry, maghatag yapon tag example, no? Na inigatag na ako example, so syempre magkatag example for Coulombs law and for electric field intensity. Okay? Now, again, for K here, same ra gyapon 1 over 4 pi EO, wherein EO is 10 to the negative 9 over 36 pi. And then for the electric field intensity, the unit for electric field intensity is Newton per coulomb. Okay? Newton per coulomb. So basically, mura na ni siya katong force. Di ba? Force equal to K Q1 Q2 over 4 pi EO yeah, D squared. To solve for electric field intensity, just divide one charge on it. That's why imuhang electric field intensity is just basically force over Q. Makasuot ba ako sa last mo? Makasuot dahil. Okay. Okay. Force over Q is just equal to K times isa na lang ka Q divided by 4 pi EO D squared. Okay? So mo na inana nahitabo sa electric field intensity. Ikuha rin mo sa ka-charge, okay, divide lang nimo, you will form electric field intensity. And by the way, tama na tog line sa babaw. That means electric field intensity is a vector quantity. Now, sa may nakapa-vector quantity, ano siya nga, puro man ni magnitude. I forgot to add here, no, na anay, direction, AR. So, nang AR, sir. This one also, no, na anay, AR diha. So, nang AR. AR is basically direction. Okay? Now, so pagkuha sa direction, sir, how are we going to get the direction? Okay? Now, direction, AR, so for direction, okay, basically it's just the vector divided by the magnitude of the vector. Ano kasi yun, sir? Yes. Ganawa ha. Di ba ang vector is magnitude and direction divided by kani magnitude. Cancel out ang magnitude, may bilin, direction na lang. So that's why, to solve for the direction, you just have the vector divide it by its own magnitude. So, may bilin, direction na lang. Okay? So, this will be a vector quantity sa dang force. Pero, if you only want the magnitude, then this one is enough already. If you only want the magnitude. Pero, usually during our exam, what I want you to find is, of course, the vector. Okay? Now, let's proceed to example. Example ta, no? Raise lang na eh. Okay, wala makabutang example dito. So, example number 1. Sige, given, a point charge. Okay, let's say point charge Q1 is equal to 50 microcoulomb is located at point 1, which is 258. Okay. It experiences a force due to Q2 equal to, let's say, 100 microcoulomb located at P2. So, let's say ang Q2 is located at 1, -3, 4. Okay? Solve for the force experienced. Okay, experienced by Q1 due to Q2. Ano lang, no? So this is the first example for Coulombs law. So let's say for example na ako'y Q1. Okay. So ang Q1 na to is 50 microcoulomb. Minasag ko'y Q2. Q2 is ano to? 100 microcoulomb. Okay, si Q1 ko no ang naka-experience of force tungod ni Q2. So butang ta, ang force would be, take note ha, ang force has a direction. Okay? So force is not just magnitude alone, but it also has direction. So, gi-specify sa problem itself nga ang Q1 mo ay naka-experience sa force tungod ni Q2. So therefore, ang direction sa force would be from Q2 going to Q1. At straight be. From Q2 going to wala lang. Nairog lang ka ni. Na. Okay, mauni ang force. Okay, si Q1 mo ay naka-experience sa force tungod ni Q2. Sir, di pwede sir kasi Q2 mo ay naka-experience sa force tungod ni Q1. Well, technically, pwede sad na, no? Si Q2 naka-experience sad na og force. The problem is, ang problem lang is, gi-specify man sa atong example nga si Q1 mo ay naka-experience. So, we have to follow unsay gipangayo ni problem. Okay, maghimo kag imuha, dapat kag chance nga wrong na imong answer na kung maghimo kag imuha. So that's why you have to follow unsay gi-specify sa problem nga direction. Kay critical na ba kayo ang direction because we're talking about vectors here. So if we're talking about vectors, you have to clearly make a distinction about which direction is the force going from and to. Diindikan ug asa padung. You have to clarify properly unsay direction sa imong force. Okay? So for this one, gi-clarify man diretso sa example nga ang force padong agikan ni Q2 padong ni Q1 kasi Q1 may naka-experience. Now, how to solve? Since force may gipangita, so recall force is equal to K times Q1, Q2 over D squared with the direction. But take note, since ang K, but K is equal to 1 over 4 pi EO. Okay, so we can have force is equal to Q1, Q2 over 4 pi P sub O times distance squared. Resulta ni gamay, kay tanga na to ang direction. Okay? Now, sa may unang natin solve ni sir. Q1 and Q2 is given. Okay? 4 pi and EO, they are constants. So we don't know what is the distance between the two charges. And we don't know the direction also. So first, we have to determine pila may distance nilang duha. Okay? Now, it's easy to determine distance unta kung two-dimensional pa ni. But take note, our problem is 3D, three-dimensional, no? So, ang point 1 located at 258, ang point 2 located at 1, negative 34. Therefore, we have to determine first the vector distance between point 1 and point 2. So, to solve for the vector distance, let's say R. Okay? So, anong R man yun? So, that is a representation lang no, sa vector distance. Pwede mag-A, pwede mag-B, pwede mag-C. Pero usually, manggod, mga A, B, C, mo gud i-represent sa object. So, let's say object A, charge B. Okay? So, mo gud usually represent. So, muna nga ang representation sa vector distance is R. Okay? Now, for the vector distance, you also have to determine which is the direction. Now, by the way, no, since ang atoong force is a vector quantity, it should have a proper direction also. But we have already pointed out the direction. It would be from Q2 to Q1. Therefore, ato na lang ning specify klaro sa force para di ta malimot, force from 2 to 1. So force 2, 1. Force 2, 1. Kana, no? Now, since we have clearly pointed out the direction for the force, it will also follow ang iyahang vector distance. Again, it's called vector distance because it doesn't have only magnitude, but it also has a direction. Therefore, tuwas ang vector distance would be from 2 to 1. Now, recall, di ba, very familiar ni, parehas na itong example before. To solve for the vector from 2 to 1, baliha lang na, no? That will just be vector sa 1 minus vector sa 2. Okay? So, mora niya ito ang pare-parehas rin sa katong akong gihatag nga example sa previous nga discussion. Okay? Now, for this one, ang vector sa 1, sa point 1. So, may vector sa point 1. Since ang point 1 is located at 258, then ang vector sa point 1 would be 2ax plus 5ay plus 8az minus ang vector sa 2. Alin na ito butang Hindi lang. Ito butang sa ubos. Minus ang vector sa 2. So, ang vector sa point 2 is 1, negative 3, 4. That would be 1. So, ax lang. Okay, dili na ako nabutangan og 1 niya because it's understood na. Minus 3ay plus 4az. Okay, so therefore, vector distance from 2 to 1 will be 2ax minus ax, so ax na lang. Then 5ay minus negative 3ay, so this would be plus 8ay. And 8az minus 4az, so plus 4az. Okay? Now, we have already the vector distance. But take note, what is needed here is the distance alone. Okay? Dili kailangan og direction. It only needs magnitude. Take note, distance here is just the magnitude. Okay? Magnitude dara na. So therefore, we have to solve for the magnitude here. So ang magnitude na, recall, solving for the magnitude of a vector, okay, vector 2, 1, that is just square root of, okay, square nimo ang kada value sa imuhang direction. So you have 1 squared plus 8 squared plus 4 squared. So therefore, ang magnitude sa ato ang vector 2, 1 would be square root of 1 squared plus 8 squared, 64. Yeah, plus, ito kong calculate. Na lang, no? 64 plus 16, you have 80. 81, square root of 81. That's what I said. Ano pagamihan na may square root of 81. Okay, sakto ba? Square root of 81, 64, 16, 80, 81. Okay. So we have here our distance and our vector distance. Color para daling mailhan. Now, we now have this one here. So, itong buhaton substitute na lang ta, no? So, therefore, ang force, okay, ang force 2, 1 would be Q1, okay, Q1, itong Q1, 50 microcoulomb, ang Q2 is 100 microcoulomb. Now, recall micro, that is times 10 to the negative 6. So, you have to recall the prefixes, okay? Micro, nano, pico, femto, okay? So, you have to recall that unsa equivalent ana kay mora ba gid ni kasagaran basta mga charges gagmay ra gid ang charges. So wala kay charges nga dagko kayo, no? Okay? So you have here 50 micro, so 50 times 10 to the negative 6 times Q2 is 100 times 10 to the negative 6, okay? Divided by, you have 4 pi. And then for EO, again, that is 10 to the negative 9 over 36 pi times ang distance niya, you have here, distance is square root of 81, so squared, times direction. Recall, okay? Recall, direction is the vector divided by the magnitude of the vector. But we already have both. So therefore, vector, daratong vector, ax plus 8ay plus 4az divided by, you have the distance, the magnitude square root of 81. Okay? So, mo na ni imuhang solution. Force from 2 to 1 would be. Now, by the way, dili ni mo ni madiretso calcu kay na ay AX, AY ug AZ. Sa calculator wala man kay AX, AY ug AZ. So what you're going to do is solve this first. Okay? Solve the magnitude first. Then iguman mo solve ani, then that's the time nga imuhang multiply diri, then divide diri. Okay? Para solve sa nimo first ang AX. So for example, magnitude times 1 divided by square root of 81. So you have your answer for AX. Then magnitude times 8 divided by square root of 81. You have your answer for AY. And then lastly, magnitude times 4 divided by square root of 81. You have magnitude for AZ. So for this one, kailangan gid mo ng tagsa-tagsaon ang solve. Okay? Sige. Solve sa nato ha. Okay. 50 micro times 100 micro divided by 4 pi times 10 to the power of negative 9 divided by 36 pi. Then times square root of 81 squared. Okay. So answer for this one, this is 5 over 9. Okay, 5 over 9 times 1 divided by square root of 81. You have 0.062. Uy, yellow lang gihapon. You have, my goodness, 0.062 AX. Okay? Then for AY, balik na sa 5 over 9 times 8 divided by square root of 81. Then you have 0.49 plus 0.49 AY. Then lastly, para sa AZ, you will have 5 over 9 times 4 divided by square root of 81. You will have 0.25 plus 0.25 AZ. Okay? Dara. Mao na ni imuhang answer. Okay? Okay? So, take note, force money, unit is Newton. Okay? So far, any question? Mga pangutan. Wala na mo. Okay? So, everything is very easy. Very easy. Okay, now, again, no, everything is very clear on sa imuhang ko, ano, on sa imuhang flow sa problem. Okay? And also, sayo na rasad siya because all you need to do is just solve for the vector direction, then substitute na lang ka. Ang imuha na lang yun is ang careful nga pagkalcue. Okay? Anong careful nga pagkalcue man? Daghan na jud kaayong nasangit anang pagkalcue lang alone. Daghan na kaayong namatay na namatay sa quiz, namatay sa sit-work, sa assignments, kay nasayo pagkalcue. So bantay-bantay mo inigkalcue ninyo, no? Okay? Kay daghan na ra ba jud king masayo pag encode sa pagkalcue ani? Kay daghan na ra ba og kuan, no? Daghan na ra ba kag i-encode? Okay? Kay guman ana inig-answer ani. Okay, then multiply na diha, divide ana. Na usahay malimot, mausab ang i-input nga answer diri dapita. Okay? Di resulta lahi ng answer. Okay? So this is Coulombs law. Sus kasayon na raman dayana sa ray. Nanaraday. Okay, no? Now, there's also another scenario. What if dili lang duha ka charge? Pwede di, sir? Yes, pwede, no? What if you have 3 charges? What if you have 4 charges? What if you have 5 charges? Okay? Now, it is very possible. Okay? Every additional charge, it can also exert additional force. Okay? Sige, example. Another example ta, no? Example number 2, hapit na dahil as J's. Okay, example 2. So na to, given. Okay, given you have Q1. Oh my goodness, let's say 10 microcoulomb. at point 1. Let's say 1, 2, 3. Then let's say you have another Q2 which is 25 microcoulomb at point 2. So you have 6, 5, negative 1. And lastly, you have Q3 which is 75 microcoulomb at point 3. Let's say negative 3, 1, 2. Okay, now find the force experienced. Hindi na ito itong experience. Find F on, sa butangan. On Q3 lang, on Q3. Ano? Find force on Q3. So let's say, for example, okay, hindi na lang nakapagpurma. Let's say na ako'y Q1, na ako'y Q2, o na ako'y Q3. Hindi na lang nakapagpurma ha. Now, pagtaon ko no ang force on Q3. Meaning, Q3 is the one experiencing the force. So that would be, ang force would be from Q1 padong ni Q3. And also, there's also a force from Q2 going to Q3. So there will be two forces, force 1 and force 2. Okay? So, sir, ganun duha man, sir? Again, it's because in every charge, it can affect a it can exert a force onto another charge. Sir, how about ang force from Q1 to Q2? Obviously, naagid na agapo, no? Pero wala man na pangutana. Ang pangutana kay ang force man on Q3. That is the question man. Okay? So that's why we're going to focus the force experienced by Q3. And of course, ang force can experience ni Q3 is because of Q1 and Q2. Okay? Now, how to solve for this one? Now, it's very obvious that since you have two forces, then you have to solve for its total. The force total, okay? Ba't kay F? No. Okay, the force total would be, of course, ang force 1 added with force 2. But take note, these forces are vector forces. Therefore, when you add, you have to also add vectorially. Nauda na sir ang class na ay arrow. Okay? Now, na arrow because you're not going to add the magnitude alone, but you're going to add them in vector form. Okay? So, mo ni pinaka-importante ha kanigid. You have to add vectorially. Basta multiple forces na gani, you have to add vectorially. Okay? Dili pwede nga i-add nimo ang magnitude lang alone. You have to add both vectors. Now, sige. Solbo nimo first in vector form ang duha ka forces. Then, after solving the vector form of the two forces, then that's the time you can add. Okay? Sige, solving first. At F1. Solving first for F1. Okay? Ang atong F1 will be from 1 going to 3. Okay? So, atong F1 would be F1 to 3. Okay? That is Q1, Q3 over 4 pi EO times distance squared with the unit vector. Again, as usual, first thing we're going to do is solve for the vector distance. So, vector distance, okay, but vector distance from 1 to 3 is equal to vector sa 3 minus vector sa 1. Now, vector sa 3 is 3, negative 3, 1, 2. So, you will have negative 3ax plus ay plus 2az minus ang vector sa 1 is 1, 2, 3. So, you will have ax plus 2ay plus 3az. Okay? Therefore, ang vector 1, 3 would be negative 3ax minus ax, so negative 4ax. Then, ay minus 2ay, this will be negative ay. And 2az minus 3az, this would be negative az. Okay? Therefore, and also, magnitude sa ato ang vector 1, 3 will be square root of 4 squared plus 1 squared plus 1 squared. Kung yung natinga mo nga nung wala na ko gi-appeal ang negative, sir, negative man sir nga nung gi-positive ra man nimo. Again, take note, ako nang gi-explain before. Take note nga ang square sa negative is still positive ang answer. So that's why, hindi na lang nako apilon ang negative. May positive na lang nako daan, no? Kay usually, mong good na yung makadag bulabog sa imong equation niya. Namang times ba nga, imbis na plus ni dere, tungod kay negative man na diha, na ay uban nga, ang masuwat na hinuon, imbis na plus dere, my goodness. Imbis na plus diha, mahimo na noong negative diha. So magawas na hinuon ang negative. 9 times kay nana, no? So ano, to refrain from those errors, ang positive na lang tanan imong buhaton, no? Imong gamiton. Okay? So same ra man gyud nag-answer, ang square sa negative kay positive man lang gihapon. Okay? So therefore we will have here that ang magnitude di ay sa vector 1, 3 would be 16, 17, 18, square root of 18. Okay? Then, with that, okay? So, with that, you will have, ano na lang sa ubo. So, you will have force 1, 3 will be, again, Q1, Q3. Q1 is 10 micro, Q3 is 75 micro. So, you will have here 10 times 10 to the negative 6 times 75 times 10 to the negative 6 divided by 4 pi. Then 10 to the negative 9 over 36 pi. Then distance squared, you have square root of 18 squared multiplied by the direction, you have negative 4ax. First, you have the vector minus ay minus az. Then after that, you have the magnitude, square root of 18. Okay, so you have your force 1, 3. Sige, so bulot ko ang force 1, 3. You have 10. Oh, 10 ba to? 10 day. Okay. So 10 is exponent negative 6 times 75 exponent negative 6 over 4 pi times 4 pi times 10 to the power of negative 9. Okay. 10 to the power of negative 9 divided by 36 pi times square root of 18 squared. So 3 over 8 na, no? So this one, okay, this one is 3 over 8. So naon na nako para dili kayo makabulabog sa to equation. 3 over 8 times negative 4 divided by square root of 18. Wait, syntax error mo ko. Times negative, times negative 4 divided by square root of 18. So answer is, okay. Answer is negative 0.35. So negative na. Red. Negative 0.35 AX. And then for AY, 3 over 8 times negative 1 divided by square root of 18. We'll have negative 0.09 minus 0.09 AY. Okay? And then for AZ, 1 ramang gihapon so parehas siya sa AY. So minus 0.09 AZ. Okay? So we now have our F13. Batik, nato pa tanahuman ha? Kay duha man ka forces. So we have solved first ang force 1 pa. Then, ano na ito sa force 2? So at force 2, so itong force 2 will be from Q2 going to Q3. So therefore, you will have force from 2 to 3. Or that is Q2, Q3 divided by 4 pi EO times the distance squared with the unit vector. With the direction. Okay? Therefore, okay, anay but save na sad atong buhaton. Solve first for the vector direction. Okay? vector direction would be from 2 to 3, or that is vector sa 3 minus vector sa 2. Okay, but vector sa 3, take note, is negative 3, 1, 2. So you will have negative 3ax plus 1ay plus 2az minus ang vector sa 2 kay 6, 5, negative 1. So 6ax plus 5ay minus az. Okay, therefore magnitude for vector 2, 3 would be, this is negative 9ax, then minus 4ay, then plus 3az. And its equivalent magnitude, okay, will be square root sa 9 squared plus 4 squared plus 3 squared. Again, pwede rin mo i-ignore ang negative, kaya ang square sa negative, positive man lang gihapon. So 9 squared plus 4 squared plus 3 squared is, okay, square root of 106. Right? So this is the magnitude for vector 2, 3, square root of 106. Okay? Since we have this already, then same na po ani. So, force, vector force for 2, 3 would be, okay, Q2, itong Q2. Diktat ha, Q2, Q3 na ta. So, Q2 would be 25 micro. Okay? 25 times 10 to the negative 6 times Q3, 75 times 10 to the negative 6 divided by 4 pi, then 10 to the negative 9 over 36 pi. Okay, then the distance, you have square root of 106 squared. With the unit vector or with the direction, you will have, okay, vector first, negative 9ax minus 4ay plus 3az divided by the magnitude, which is square root of 106. Okay, therefore, force 2, 3 will be, okay, sorry po sagta. 25 square negative 6. Sayop, sayop. 2 input. 25 times 10 to the negative 6 times 25. 10 to the negative 6 divided by 4 pi times 10 to the power of negative 9 divided by 6 pi times square root of 106 squared. Okay. So this one, okay, this one is 135 over 848. Okay. Now what if complicated kayo ang answer ani? Okay, kung complicated kayo, kung task kayo isuwat, let's say for example task kayo, for example inani no, what if dili siya, wala siya equivalent nga let's say what siya equivalent nga fraction form, let's say decimal lang siya in decimal form. So pili man ka decimal place akong gamiton, sir. Okay? Para di na ka mamblema na, much better imong buhaton is store nimo, no? I-store nimo sa A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay? Kamo ni bahala, basta kay mas maayo i-store ninyo. For this one, ako lang ning store. Let's say store A. Uy. Ano mas ayot na hilong. 135 by 135 by 848. Store A. Okay. So, 4A times negative 9 divided by square root of 106. Okay, for AX, I have negative, yellow. Negative 0.14 AX. Okay, then for AY na ko, alpha A times negative 4 divided by square root of 106. We will have negative 0.062. Okay, AY. Okay, then lastly for AZ, we have alpha A times 3 divided by square root of 108. 106 di ay. 0.05. 0.046 plus 0.0, okay, 0.046 AZ. Sir, kailangan nyo mo gamit og 2 decimal places or 3 decimal places. Now, for me, no, it's up to you. Basta importante lang is ma-show gid nimo ang sakto lang, no, sakto lang nga value sa imong mga answers. For example, this one. Ako lang siyang 3 decimal places kay gamay man. Okay? So for this one, dili man jud na siya kagamay, 2 decimal places lang nako. So inanara no, it's up to you. Okay? Mas importante is, again, ang ako ara magitan-awon is ang solution magitan tanawon. Okay? So I have here force 2, 3 already. But take note, dili pa nagihapon ang atong answer. Take note, what we're looking for is the total of both these forces. So, thus, therefore, force total would be equivalent to force 1, 3 plus force 2, 3. Okay, that would be force total is equal to, okay, negative 0.35 AX minus 0.09 AY minus 0.09 AZ plus, okay, plus ang force 2, 3. So, negative 0.14 AX minus 0.062 AY plus 0.046 AZ. Okay? So, pamuan eh. Force total di ay nimo will be equal to, sige, let's start with AX, negative 0.35 plus negative 0.14. So, that is 0.49. Okay. Negative 0.49 AX. Okay. Then, for AY, so negative ragya po ng resulta ni. That would be, mahimo ni siyang 0.09 plus 0.062. So, 0.152. 0.152 AY. And lastly, ang AZ. So, negative ug positive. So, negative 0.09 plus 0.046. For AZ, that would be negative 0.044. AZ. Okay? Then, you have your final answer. Excuse me. Okay? So, inana lang. As you can see, same maragid gihapon nga solution, pero baligduha na lang sila. Okay? So, nga to ang flow na to, same ragyapon sa sample number 1. Excuse me. But since duha man kabuk forces ang available, then baligduha pod ka solution na to ang gibuhat. Then, gi-add lang na to paghuman. Sir, kailangan gyud nga ang vector imong i-add? Yes, kailangan gyud. Di pwede nga ang magnitude alone. Okay? Kay take note, naman na sila equivalent direction. Kung imo lang i-add, tabla ra imo ra nang giko, tabla ra nagiana ana nimo direksyon, force 1 ug force 2. Tabla ra giinana nimo. Okay? Imo rang i-add direksyon ang magnitude. But each of them na iyang kaugalingon nga direksyon. So you have to include the direction. It's very important nga appeal ang direksyon sa pag-add nimo. Okay? What if, sir, ang magnitude lang sa force total ang pangitaon? Okay? So kung magnitude lang, same gyapon nga process. You have to get the vector. Then, ang pag-get lang sa magnitude, same rapod nga process. Magnitude sa imong force total would be square root sa, kana, 0.49 squared plus 0.152 squared plus 0.044 squared. O, muna na imuhang magnitude. Okay? So, ina na lang. Ang point na ko is, kailangan nga ma-add sila in vector form. That's why it's called vectorial addition. Mo'y pinaka-importante ang vectorial addition. Okay? Any questions? Wala rin mga pangutana?
Wala ra, sir.
Wala ra. Okay, now, since wala ra may pangutana, now, asa man diha ang electric field intensity, sir? Now, for electric field intensity, as you can see here, pare-parehas naman gid sila formula. Therefore, ang iyang process, parehas ra pud gihapon. Nakalahi lang, usa na lang ka bulk charge ang naa. Okay? Sige, sampula na to, no? Kapila naman. Kani example 2 man eh. Tapos ko na ito, no? Example, this is example 2. Okay? Example 3 tare, tapikas. Example 3. Okay. Okay, example 3. Okay, find the electric field intensity find the electric field intensity experienced by point 0.302 due to charge sa man eh due to charge Q equal to let's say 50 nanocoulomb, okay, located at sige 0.123 na lang para mas dali. Okay? So inanira kasimple ang example. As you can see here, ang only difference sa gyud sa Coulombs law, isa ra ka charge ang naa. Okay? Pero duha gyapon ka point. It's because again, kung to no, duha man to, na man to no, sa ka charge key rotate. So therefore at any point here, it experiences an electric field intensity. Let's say kaninga point maka-experience nag electric field intensity. So mo na yung pakutan na diri, what if diri nga point pila may ma-experience diha nga electric field intensity? So inana ang question. So inana ang scenario sa electric field intensity. Pero, okay? Pero ang iyahang solution would be pare-parehas ra gyud sa Coulombs law. Okay? So recall, let's say no mo ni ako ang charge Q which is 50 nanocoulomb. Recall nano is times 10 to the negative 9. Mo ni ako ang point. So ang point mo ay naka-experience og electric field intensity. Okay? Ang pangutana, pila man ang electric field intensity na na-experience by the point due to discharge. So therefore, you still have the again, the problem is the problem has stated directly what would be the direction of your intensity, of your electric field intensity. Therefore, your electric field intensity, one would be from the charge going to the point. So that would be charge Q over 4 pi E sub O with the distance squared times the unit vector. Okay? So, unsa sa ni pag-solve ang electric field intensity? Again, same ra gyud gihapon. Same ra gyud gihapon sa pamaagi sa Coulombs law. You will start with the vector direction. Okay? But vector direction would from the charge going to the point will be vector sa point minus vector sa charge. Or that is, ang vector sa point na to is this one, no? 302. That is, ito niklarohon by P1 o P2. Itong anaon para. Na lang. Ito na lang ning tanggalon ang P diri. Para usara ka P. Na, kidilap ka na. Meron ka ni, meron ka ni gamay. Okay. So which is, ang vector sa point is 302. So 3AX. 0 man ang AY. I'm not going to put AY na lang, no? Plus 2AZ. Okay? Minus ang vector sa Q is 1, 2, 3. So AX plus 2AY plus 3AZ. So therefore, ang vector from charge to the point is equal to, for AX, it would be 2AX. Then for AY, negative 2AY. For AZ, negative AZ. Okay? And then also, sulbon gyapon nato ang magnitude from Q to P would be square root of 2 squared plus 2 squared plus 1 squared. Or that is 4 plus 4, 8 plus 1, 9, square root of 9. Or that is 3. Okay? Then, after that, same ra gyud gihapon nga process sa Coulombs law. substitute. Therefore, electric field intensity from the charge going to the point will be, ang charge given is 50 nano, or that is 50 times 10 to the negative 9, okay, divided by 4 pi times 10 to the negative 9 over 36 pi times the distance, you have 3 squared. With the unit vector, starting first with the vector 2ax minus 2ay, a unit vector direction die. So for the direction, starting first with the vector, then minus az divided by the magnitude, which is 3. Therefore, your electric field intensity from the charge going to the point will be, sige, ato na sang solbo, no? Again, as you can see, maura gid gihapon nga, maura gid gihapon nga process. Okay, times 10 to the negative 9 over 4 pi, 4 pi times 10 to the negative 9 divided by 36 pi, okay, times distance 3 squared. Okay, so take note, this one, this one is 50. Okay, so therefore, kung 50 na, error po na gamit. Oh, yeah. Okay, kung 50 na, so 50 times 2 divided by 3. So that is 83.33. 83.33 AX. Then, for AY, parehas naman siyang 2, so minus 83.33 AY. Then for AZ, so 50 times negative 1 divided by 3. Now that is 16.67 minus 16.67 AZ. Okay? So, 50 times 2. So, yun man. Divided by 3. 33 na dahil na giahak. Ano na 83 mo na eh? It should be 33 ra. Okay, 33. Okay na, ano? There. Take note also, unit for electric field intensity, you have Newton per coulomb. There's your final answer. Okay? So as you can see, same ra gyud gihapon nga process. Now, since same ra man gyud gihapon nga process, sir, pwede ba sad nga parehas pud sa Coulombs law nga naay multiple charges? Yes, pwede gihapon, no? For example, mo na akong charge Q1, mo sad niya akong charge Q2. Let's say mo ni ang point. So kani nga point, maka-experience na siya electric field intensity, of course, due to Q1 and Q2. So you will have, let's say, electric field intensity E1. You will also have electric field intensity E2. And from here, your electric field total would be E1 plus E2. O, diba? As you can see, sus, parehas ra gid gihapon na og process diri gihapon. Parehas ra gid na. Okay? Kung the more magkadaghan ang charges, the more magkadaghan ang electric field intensity, then the more sad magkadaghan ang imuhang inahaning nga solution. Again, parehas ra gid kayo for process. Parehas ra gid tanan. Muna kong giingon nga if you know Coulombs law, makahibaw ra jud ka sa electric field intensity. Kay parehas ra gid sila nakalahi usa ra ka charge ang electric field intensity. Or the other way around, if you know electric field intensity, you will definitely know Coulombs law. Okay? So mo na nga gidungan ako sila discuss silang duha because they are directly related ra gid. Ang process parehas ra gid. Usa ra gyud nakalahi. Ang usa, ang Coulombs law duha ka charges, ang electric field intensity isa lang ka charge. So far, any question, mga pangutana?
Excuse me, sir.
Sige.
Pwede, sir, nga ang given nga Q kay negative daan.
Pwede sad. Okay? So, again, no, ang charge, kay it can be positive or negative man. So, pwede sad ang charge nimo kay negative. Okay? Ako lang maipang sample diri positive lang, no? Pero pwede na pugod nag-negative. Na, sir, abot diri, sir, negative sad na. Oh, yes, negative sad na. Okay? So, inana lang gid gihapon, no? Kung unsay given, amo ra pwede mo ibutang lahat. Inana lang. Did I answer the question?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, no? So again, ang charge nimo, it can be positive or negative because of course, naaman tayo positive charge, we also have negative charge. So ako lang na example, puro lang positive akong na example. Any other question? Okay, wala ray question. Okay, so since wala ra may question, usual, maghatag ko og assignment ninyo para as much as possible, you can practice it on yourself. As much as possible, ha? On yourself. Dili kay na naman assignment ba? Gaay tag kuan ba picture ba? Picture ba gaay ko send di kag solution. Okay? So again, as much as possible, try to solve it on your own. Para sa in town, okay? Para sa napag-in town. Para sa in town, ano, maka-try mo nga kamo mismo ang nag-solve. Okay? Problema ra bagid ani, dali ra kay tan-awon, pero kung wala kay practice, lisod i-apply. Kung magina usually ba sa engineering. Okay? Dali ra jud tan-awon, nagtan-an nimo sa process na okay. Pero kung imo nang i-apply, kung wala kay practice, of course, dili gyud sayon. Lisod gyud na kung wala kay practice. Okay, just like parehas ra gyud nagyapon na og skills. Kung wala kay practice di gyud ka mao. Same with this one, no? Okay? We know nga naay uban nga bisan pag-igo ra nagitan-aw inig-solve makamao na dayon. Pero na magiuban nga dili gid ka mao dayon inig actual na, no? So dali ra kay pagtan-aw pero dili maka mao dayon inig apply. Okay? So again, after this I will be giving you an assignment to practice on. So practice. Okay, again, hopefully maka-solve mo ani using your own. Okay? Using your own using your own paningkamot sa may English paningkamot eh. Okay? So sa gamit ang inyong kagulingong paningkamot. Okay? Para sa dintahon ma-practice mo. So far, any questions? Wala yung mga pangutana? Okay, no? So kung wala rin mga pangutana, thank you very much for attending this meeting.